get our hooks into it. Again, providing external money to provide services to our citizens. That's what we're here to do, upgrade the level of services. Now that we've got the money kind of stabilized, it's time to start talking service.
I think what people mean when they say run it like a business is you can't run it, you can't spend $360,000 more than you take in for very long.
You can't do that. All right, so that's kind of what I wanted to talk about there. That's the end of that, the financial piece in my rant for the day. We have under old business item B, the short-term rental, which is our vacation housing stock, or a part of our vacation housing stock question. Places for people to stay so that they can spend more money and spend taxes here. This has been referred to the city council by planning and zoning. You had a document about it. Yeah, I mean, you had it in your box. So I know that I think Jim Traylor had a lot to do with it, but this came out of the planning and zoning.
It was crafted by Jeff and Alice Hill, and the commission added to it after some study.
And this you did last week, Jim? Is this brand new from the last presentation?
Yes.
Okay, I didn't get a copy of that.
I got a copy of it. I didn't have it.
Well, all I know is the last time we talked about it, it didn't have the number of houses and something else. I had it written on my notes. Did you all decide how many houses they could have?
2.
So
Was it in there?
Yes.
What is it for?
It is in the final one.
Okay.
apparently they're unevenly distributed.
It was in
If
the
you
first
like-
one, the second one, and the third one.
If you like, I'll print up another one and I'll have it in your mailboxes tomorrow. We don't have to vote on this forthwith, but we probably ought to get cracking on it.
Well, it'll take us 3 months, so if we do our first vote in May, June, July, it'll take effect in August.
So we
I think
good?
it's pretty thorough.
Thoughts, questions, comments?
It doesn't cover everything, it covers some basics, it stops parties at houses, it gives the folks that live around it the opportunity to get rid of and end folks that consistently create havoc in the neighborhood.
Well, until I have a copy of it to read, I can't discuss it.
Yeah, I don't have one either.
I thought everybody had copies of it. Your call, I thought-
Everybody got copies of it at last meeting.
I have a copy of it. I do have a question about, I noticed that specifically mobile homes are excluded. What was the thought process behind that?
That was Jeff and Alice Hill's deal originally, and we agreed with it simply because we put a square footage on the short-term rental, and most of your mobile homes don't meet that. Most of the mobile homes in this town are extremely old. They don't look particularly good.
I won't dispute that. That's true. Most of them do. However, I would be concerned about, we live in a town that allows them, but you can't use those as vacation rental. Do you see what I'm
Correct.
saying? It seems a bit hypocritical. You can
Correct.
have them in town, but you can't
We-
use them as the,
Well, we do have ordinances involving bringing new ones in
and as we
versus,
should. So I don't
And
know.
the resort, in and of our county uses them as rentals for a resort.
Here's another outlook on it. I'd say a large majority of your mobile homes in this town are on 50-foot lots. You know, so there's really no adequate room for them.
no designated place to put vehicles.
Exactly. So,
And that, they do need that. I guess I don't want to, while there needs to be certainly parameters so this doesn't get out of hand, and thank you, your commission, for doing all this, I want to give everybody a chance to use this. You know, not just the people who maybe have a little bit more money and can afford to buy some houses and make more money. Perhaps we can think of a way to include the less thans in this.
We limit that to 2 houses. You have to own the house for 1 year,
Right,
so you can't come in and buy a bunch of houses
right, and we
and,
need to do, that was very
and-
smart of you guys.
and turn them into
I don't-
short-term rentals.
Right, I don't wanna become the rental capital of Arkansas.
We have not, so there are two different versions. There's the home sharing, and then there's the short-term rental. Home sharing, the owner is there, lives there. Short-term rental, the owner does not live
Correct.
there. This does not address home sharing,
Is that something we're gonna consider doing?
probably.
Good deal.
So at this point in time, all it addresses is short-term rentals. So we put higher stipulations on those than I would say that we would put higher stipulations on that than we would on home sharing.
Okay,
So those, remember, this is new. This is a big problem in every single city and town in the country.
I don't anticipate everybody being as responsible of business owners as the Hills were. You know, we're gonna have issues, it's a work in
A
progress.
recent case in New York of a woman who is an artist who was short on money, started renting her home out to home sharing against the contract that she had signed with the owner. Understand that her apartment is, now we're talking New York, rent controlled. Exactly. Did the owner get a cut of that? No. Is the owner suing her? Yes. Will she get kicked out in New York? Who knows? Is it the wrong thing to do? It is by the contract.
That's just, I noticed.
Did she know it? Probably.
I
Did she
noticed
do it anyway? Yes.
It specifically said mobiles, and I was wondering what the thought process was.
So currently, we have no regulations concerning this. These are not heavy-duty regulations, they're pretty minimal regulations. Mostly, they protect the citizens that live around the houses, more so than they do the home owners that want to rent them.
Sure.
So that's what it's all about. We're gonna require that they have a fire extinguisher or two, particularly by the barbecue grill. Carbon monoxide detector.
Did I see first aid kit too?
I don't think that's necessary.
I just didn't remember if I saw it or not.
We have, let's see, a carbon monoxide and a smoke detector, so it's pretty minimal. And then what we're asking them to do is basically not park in ditches, but park in areas that will accommodate the vehicles without making it look slummy and ratty.
In your language in this, I'm looking at the old paper that I had. It didn't state in this, and maybe it does in your new one, that the owners must reside in the town to manage the homes.
No, they can live outside of town.
That's in your language right now.
It is, which accommodates
I'm
those,
gonna disagree with your language.
which accommodates those folks who are currently doing it now as we speak,
And they don't live here.
and they don't live here.
And if you're gonna be responsible in this town to run a business of 2 rental houses, you need to be here to manage it, because when there's an issue, you're gonna call the police.
And in that language, we have a 24-hour contact information. So if there's a problem and we call and no one answers 3 times, 2 times, whatever time that I suppose the commission decides, then when there's a problem, then we can yank that license.
Who is better to manage the rental units than the homeowner that resides in town, who has to answer to the other neighbor?
That wasn't a question that we were, it's their property, we're gonna give them the opportunity to do it the way they wanna do it. If they don't follow our rules, then we'll yank their license. It does give the opportunity to those folks, the almost, we think, 200 houses in town that we are now charging water bills to, it does give them the opportunity to help cover some of their costs.
And does your language also say that no more than 2 have,
Yes,
Two.
no more than two homes. And we put a minimum on the size, I think we went from 1,500 to 1,200
now, I also have
square feet.
no more than 2 houses per family,
Per owner,
okay?
or per owners, or group of owners.
Well, that's what I'm playing that game with, how many people in the house have how many houses? The husband has 2, the wife has 2, the kid has 2, that's the game, I don't wanna play that game.
We were also trying not to create regulations that were that thick.
There's a reason regulations are there.
Because in some of the cities, the regulations are the size of our A&O.
I've looked them up,
They're insane.
because you're allowing and permitting somebody to run a business that doesn't have to live in
I'm
town.
not.
If you pass this, you are,
I'm not.
or you're not passing it?
I don't know.
Oh, okay, so you're just telling me what you've done.
I'm just telling you what the commission has come to the conclusion of.
Good enough?
That's a council matter. Only council can rule on this. Only. So, there's that. Any other?
The first
I
time this came
agree
up-
with Alan. I
the
think,
first
I
time this
think they
came
have
up,
to live here in town.
Marty?
I agree with Alan. I think they have to live here in town. Especially since this is new uncharted water for us. You know?
Or leave with the option of a representative.
I would ask Mr. Nichols, has he actually read the document?
No, I don't even have it.
I would
I'm
read the
just
document
listening to what you
before I
have.
made any decisions along that lines.
I looked in a couple of mailboxes and saw them, so I assumed everybody
I
had it.
didn't get one.
I know that we passed them out as the last thing. I'll eat that one. I'll make sure you get another copy.
So do we need to postpone this till next month then?
We can have a discussion, we can put it on the agenda and discuss it at that point.
Because I need to read what he's written, and right now I can't accept that.
So we do want this conversation to go forward. You want me to put this on the agenda for the council meeting? We can have a debate on the basis of whatever the new document is. We'll get the latest document from planning and zoning, and that'll be the starting point for the discussion.
Yeah, and then we can move forward from there.
Good enough.
Okay.
We have a question.
Oh, who did I miss?
You said bypass was gonna be A.
Under new business. We're still under old business.
Settle down there, Chris.
That time, it was brought up before, so I was assuming it was old.
No, it's under new business.
Pull out the ball game.
So now we get to C, treasurer mayor. We're done with short-term rental.
Yeah.
C, treasurer mayor.
I talked to Roger Morgan today, he called me about the recorder treasurer thing. I had talked to him last week after you and I spoke. He called me and caught me up to speed on it.
I can't hear you.
Boy, you're in a mood tonight.
It's been a long week.
I guess so.
Speak up.
I've put up with BS all week, and I'm not willing to put up with any tonight.
Oh boy, we're in a good mood. I was talking to Roger Morgan about the recorder treasurer thing. He called me today about it. We all would like to do what we can to retain Tina. I think we're all in agreement on that. She does a good job. Unfortunately, we can't.
We can't do what?
You have in your packets, everybody got this, right? This is the memo from 12 February. First time.
I read it before the meeting.
Yeah. So this all came up, so I said, I talked to Roger this morning. I said, wait a minute, Roger. I mean, as you know, I got no problem with that part of it. But didn't you send me a memo telling me, no? He goes, oh, that's right. So that's the memo that says we can't do it
No.
Until it's passed in Arkansas.
until they change the law.
Yeah.
If they change the law, then we can do that.
It's because we're a second-class city. First-class cities have different regulations. We're second-class, therefore can't do it. So the reality is, the next recorder treasurer election, if some person that has to take off their shoes to count to 11 runs and wins, they're the treasurer. That's the reality of it.
Unless they change the law. And
Yeah.
that's the way democracy is run,
Indeed.
for good or for ill. Okay, so, are we moving on from this? Do you have anything else to do?
I think we have to, are we gonna address the mayor thing this evening?
It's your agenda item that says treasurer mayor, so if you
Well,
want to
the
talk about it.
treasurer, it is what it is, for something we can do, and I was hoping we could. I think that, I know that we, from what Roger Morgan said, from what we all discussed, we want to get this done before filing, correct?
Get
That's
what done?
setting mayor's salary, job description, all of that for the upcoming election.
Didn't we discuss this last month?
Briefly, when Roger Morgan's here, yeah.
What did we do with it?
Can I speak to this?
Of course.
When we did this in July, what we said was quite clear, but the minutes, that was one of those crazy periods, and the minutes didn't quite clearly reflect what we decided. Minutes from the last meeting should reflect them. We could put them in the minutes again this meeting. The duties of the mayor now include all of the financial reporting responsibilities of the city, except for those minimum issues which are reserved to the recorder treasurer. They're listed in this thing. They're listed under that statute. All of the other financial stuff, if you read the state statute book, and I did, if you read the state statute book, it says the city shall, the city must, the city may. It's the city, it doesn't say recorder treasurer. All of those long pages of financial matter is the city's responsibility. So if you want to have the mayor do the city, then the mayor does that stuff in conjunction with the system we have now, the treasurer and our accountant. But the mayor is responsible for it. I have to tell you, the way we're set up right now, nobody can make transfers in the bank except the mayor. This gives me the opportunity to see every penny. Now, Tina will come in and say, okay, we paid bills here this month out of this account. Let's check the bank account. I check the bank accounts on the spot. All of that stuff flows through the mayor's office. The mayor is much more intimately involved. This way, you know the dangers. We all know the dangers of having a recorder treasurer who's the only one who has an understanding of the finances of the city. This way, the mayor is required, is obliged to track the daily financial operations of the city in detail. And since it's the city's responsibility and the mayor is the CEO of the city, the mayor holds that responsibility. It can be delegated out to other people, but ultimately it's part of the mayor's job. That's how we put this together, and that's the system that has been working so well for us for the past 10 months. That's the system that's turned us around. So the mayor is responsible for the city's financial obligations. Working with the treasurer has these three functions. Now, if you think about it, this a little bit. It's like reading the Constitution. Let's see, where are we? Where did I put that down? The minimum duties according to 1444-115. The receipt of monies, treasurer has to take the money in, they have to approve checks, and they have to post the budget. No money can come in without the treasurer seeing it and handling it. No money can go out without the treasurer approving it. If she doesn't like the budget, she doesn't post it. This gives the treasurer checks on the mayor's responsibility to manage the city's finances. On the other hand, since the other functions all fall in the hands of the mayor, that gives the mayor checks on the treasurer, so that no one person dominates the city's finances. It is a shared responsibility. And it's working very well.
Question.
And then the council, of course, oversees the budget.
Yeah. And policy.
Yes.
I don't have a problem with the way things are going. The problem is how we funded the position to begin with. And I really think, I don't know if, I haven't found an ordinance for mayor in both shows. I've never seen one.
It's in the state ordinances.
And being that $25,000 of the salary came out of the economic development, I think that should be part of the mayor's, okay?
I have no quarrel with rolling.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a simple matter. When the budget committee meets,
Yeah.
just roll that budget. That's 900-1, I think. We just roll 900-1 into 900.
When would that be?
I think
We'll
that
do it in
would,
the next budget
that
cycle,
would eliminate a lot of,
which will happen before, which will take place before the election. So the mayor's salary goes to $40,000 paid out of that city hall budget line.
great.
So the argument or discussion is.
What line is the mayor's salary?
Let me finish.
Yes, sorry.
Is which line item the issue's with and not what we're paying.
Well, it was the combination of two line items initially.
Okay, but what.
That was it. I mean, this has been brought to me, you know, and I mean,
But what we've been required to do is put more job description and work on him.
oh, yeah.
But the next person may not take that responsibility.
As long as it's written
Well,
down.
you know, that's why,
I've spent
that's
too
why.
much time with a recorder treasurer doing FOIAs to learn stuff that's beyond ridiculous. And I don't ever want to see any city have to go back to that, because I've been to Marty, I've been to Daryl, these numbers don't work. What did I get? Nothing. I got CDs made out that were blank.
But at least now he's overseeing.
If you were on the budget committee as I was, it was
You were
a hard
on,
lesson.
you were on the budget committee
Yes.
for how many years?
Yes.
How many years?
It was just going through the motions.
How many years were you on the budget
Oh,
committee?
man, probably 6.
Okay, and she pulled it over your eyes for 6 years. And every time I turned around, the vote was, oh, we'll put her in the firehouse, we'll give her this, we'll give her another $1,500 to get her things up to date. This woman owes this city money for the stuff that she did not do.
But she's not here anymore, so it
I-
doesn't matter.
But I don't want it to go back to that, and by giving the mayor the control and the city works with him in the manner in which it's working, that's the way I'd like to see it stay. If elections changes things, that's fine, they can change it January 1.
No, you can't change it January 1, it has to be before the election.
What do you want to change?
To put the mayor's salary in a single line item under the mayor, that's it.
But when you do that, you've changed the job description of the mayor.
The job description of the mayor has indeed changed
We-
by your own account.
Yeah, we changed that in the minutes. We changed that by council action. Mayor's,
How are you gonna have another individual who wins the position fulfill the job as mayor?
That's democracy, baby.
Well, sweetheart,
I know
I've been
you
through
don't
some
like
tough
it.
times.
Trust me, it's gonna chap my butt if some idiot gets voted in and makes $40,000 a year. I think it's ridiculous. But that is what we forced ourselves to do. That's what we forced ourselves to deal with. I don't like it any more than you do. There's many things about this that I don't like.
So what do you want to do?
I just said what I wanted to do. Did you not hear me?
put it all in one budget line.
Put it all in one line item.
The city, as long as we act under the state law, can design and develop whatever system we want to work under. That's our option, and that's what we've done in the past. And I think everybody voted for it.
We've obviously got another recorder treasurer.
Okay, well, Daryl didn't vote for it. But it was good then, but it's not good now. What's going on?
If we,
Because I was told it was a bad idea now.
if,
I don't know that it is a bad idea.
if
Roger
we,
Morgan says it's a bad idea, come on.
I would agree with you if you want to look at different attorneys, because it seems like we get a different answer sometimes.
That's what Roger said too. It depends on how you speak to this guy.
If
In
you
Little
guys
Rock.
wanna continue to buck this and leave it as is, fine, fine. I'm trying to save the city from this potential lawsuit. But we can leave it as it is. Go ahead.
Saving a lawsuit.
Keep doing the recorder treasurer's job for him. I'm so glad you paid for that.
oh, well,
Like I said, I
really
have to
do-
leave.
I do think it's important that the mayor have that responsibility. It's a check and balance so that we don't get back into that situation where only one person knows the numbers.
Yeah, it didn't work last
Yeah,
time.
you need checks
Like I
and
said,
balance.
I have to.
Yes, we didn't have it.
And we do now. And that's
One
why the
person.
mayor gets more
And
money.
I'll add, I
Now
always
it's
had
one
my
person
ways to
control
work return
everything.
either.
However, it is legal to pay it out of 2 line items. It's actually legal to pay it out of 3, but it's a bad idea. The more line items we have, the more cumbersome it becomes. We can leave it at two line items and just specify the salary of the mayor at $40,000. Or we can consolidate it into one line item and specify the salary of the mayor at $40,000. We get to the same place. They're both legal. What would be problematic is if the budget committee decided to alter one of those line items in the next election. That could get tricky. I mean, you might be able to get away with it, you might not. I mean, I don't know, that's a matter for the courts. I have seen that done, I've seen people win, I've seen people lose. But we're agreed with the salary of the mayor, going forward is $40,000.
Yes.
And we're gonna be done with this, we're not gonna have it on every monthly agenda it's been on every monthly agenda since
Well, she keeps
January.
bringing it up every month.
So we're kinda done with this. I'll flip a coin.
I'm done with it.
I'll flip a
I
coin.
think we've reached a halfway resolution on the issue.
Yeah, it should be all done.
Citizens' comments in a
There
minute.
you go.
Alright, so, going once, going twice. Alright, and now we move into bicycle paths, new business.
Okay, well, I don't remember exactly when it was, but wasn't the last workshop, but maybe the workshop before that, it's been a month or two.
Yeah.
But, Ken Neva spoke to you guys, and I was with him. He went and met with the Corps, I think, the next day, and kind of showed them our plans, and, we talked about the sewer easement, our bike club, cleaning and maintaining that section from Dan User Park down to the golf course. And